afternoon, everyone. This is Jared RAND. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call. Had a bit of snow, so it's a little bit late here. For November 27, Thanksgiving Eve, 2024. A little after 3:30 p.m. Eastern. We will be having a global meditation call tomorrow, Thanksgiving, as we have this will be the 7th year that we have had it, all holidays and everything. See how it works when you focus on not judging yourself. And now that seems simple, right? But what it also does is it motivates you to be much more mindful of what you say to yourself and temperate so that you're aware. No way, shape, or form should any of us ever come down on ourselves. Ever. Period. Remember, we are omnipotently powerful supreme beings that never die. We are the God source, pure consciousness, the heaven. So we don't come down on ourselves. We don't make mistakes. We experience. That's the truth. Mistakes were given. That word came out, I don't know, a long time ago. And it makes people feel guilty. It doesn't make people feel good. It doesn't make them feel wonderful. It makes them feel the opposite. It's dragging. So you really, when it's not a trick of words, but when you really look at it, all we're doing is experiencing. We experience this, we experience that. Someone threw in mistake, and all of a sudden people make mistakes all the time, right? We're moving away from the frequencies on this planet that are moved by the dark forces. And they're disintegrating. Now you bring them up out in the open. Even those who are, let's say, not awake yet, are starting to recognize that you can't make this stuff up. Okay? This is a complete dismantling of pure evil on planet Earth. Why now? I get that question a lot. Why? Why now? Why not a year ago? Why not 20 years ago? Why not 100 years ago? Well, look at how everything has been finitely connected, engineered, laid out. First, you must expose that which is evil, and so that more and more of us recognize it, not as fear, not fearing it, not ridiculing it, not attacking it, not being vengeful of it, but to recognize it, period. Just to recognize it, so that we're aware of it. Now, we're going through as I've said, a photon light energy field. This whole solar system. Remember, the solar system moves. It's not stationary. And as it moves through this belt, for the next few thousand years, this planet is being literally permeated, saturated, and flooded with pure, deep, eternal love light energy. That's a fact, right? Now, there's not much talking about it, right? More people are concerned about what shape the planet's in rather than what's really happening. So, this light, what are you inside that body? What are all of us inside these bodies? We're not the body. We know that. We're pure photon light energy. Purest of the purest form of deep eternal love, bliss, joy, happiness, all of it. Omnipotently powerful, and we can't be snuffed out. So you add that to our light. Now this is all collective. Where did the photon energy field come from? Collective consciousness created it out of the energy that is there, which is everywhere. Form it, concentrate it, and then saturate the planets. Now Earth, whatever name you have come up with for this planet, is being absolutely purified. And this is why we are seeing so much, hearing so much. Lots of things happening. Lots of things. Now, a lot of people would say, well, you know, I haven't seen anything in the last handful of years. It's just hearsay, and it's made up, and it's this or it's that. And we know that a lot of it is. But there's some of it that's mixed in with the is not, that's truthful, that's right on top of it. Now, when we look around us without judging eyes, and we see what's going on, you feel an excitement and enthusiasm within you. Why? Because it's been a long time, comparatively speaking, for us, thousands and thousands of years, millions, billions, where we have been, looking for this for a long time. The liberation of planet Earth. And this, see, it's not light. It's heavy duty. It is a complete expulsion of the vileness. And it's, see, the majority on this planet are benevolent. Now, you wouldn't know that because it seems like we're always at war somewhere. And, things are always happening, destruction and hatred, lies and untruths and manipulation. And we're like sponges. Just like when we were kids, we're still sponges. We're all taking it in. Then we determine we've created all this for what reason? There's only one reason. To experience. That's it. Now, one would say, well, that's crazy to go through all this just to experience it. Incarnation after incarnation after incarnation. That's what we do. Now, because we have this illusionary separation from the gods that we are, we don't know that. We don't know it. So we just kind of basically sit there and say, oh, well, that's the way it is. But with this infusion of photonic light energy, literally, saturating everything, that's why, see, the funny thing is that why would other people flee our country and go somewhere else? Like you can't escape it. Doesn't matter where you go. But they don't know. They're totally immersed in the ego mind, which means they're easily manipulated into evil. Okay? That's one of the biggest keys that this civilization is finding out, step by step, that when you're controlled and manipulated by ego mind, you're much more receptive to evil. When you're heart-minded, evil doesn't stand a chance at all. In fact, it goes the other way when it comes around you. And we're moving into pure love light energy. Now, the interesting thing is that a lot of us, we're so entrenched in the way we've lived our lives, lifetime after lifetime, it's not a simple, easy thing to do. To gravitate completely into the light, right, which is you, and I want to make that perfectly clear. There isn't a light that you're walking into. It's you. It's you discovering the light that you are within that body. That's what this is all about. And the light that you are is the light that's bathing this planet. It just happens to be in a much larger containment area in order for it to be 100% effective. So it isn't dissipated or stretched out, spread, because it can't be. Now, along with it, all right, we're going to experience the remnants of pure evil. What does that mean? Well, it means those wannabe evil ones that aren't. You know, that aren't in control and aren't in superpower, but they believe they are. And so they'll do everything they can to irritate you, frustrate you, get you in low frequency. When we go in low frequency, what is it? Well, it's lower dark matter, survival matter frequency. When we go into that pit where we get angry, frustrated, short-tempered, irritable, we're in those low frequencies. That's why we're that way. That's why we're so agitated. It isn't our natural state of being. Even though we don't believe that it is. So this is it's a very spectacular time. Magna glorious time for all of us. Now, I guarantee you that every one of us gods in these bodies timed this to be here at this particular stage of Earth's development as far as the civilization is concerned. This isn't happenstance, and there's no such thing as coincidence. So coincidence means that you use that word to explain things away that you do not understand. That's the real meaning, definition of coincidence. Oh, that's just a coincidence, Harry. Okay, it's easily explained away. But so whenever you get that feeling of coincidence, right, you want to say it. It's easy to do. You say, oh, that's just a coincidence. You can feel it coming because you're going to say it. Then you say, wait a minute. Since there's no coincidence, what is this telling me? Since there's no coincidence, what's it telling me? This is our curiosity because we always want to know. We're always curious. So we get out there, and to know is really crucial. To know this is all happening. It's not superficial. This is a deep-seated virus that's invaded this planet that is now being exterminated. It happens to house it. It happens to occupy other bodies. Right? You ever met anybody that you were uneasy? Okay, you ever met somebody that you don't know, you don't have reference with them. You're in a conversation, but you feel uneasy. There's something there, and it's not. It's like you really don't care to be in the field of energy that being is emanating. I was in a room once. It was actually a country club that I was invited to this meeting. This was quite a few years ago. And it was a golf course. You know how it's all highfalutin. And going to this room, I felt okay. I was just going to a meeting. I was asked to come to this meeting. So, you go down the hall, and then and there's some maitre d's there, and hosts and hostesses, and they lead me into the room, and then, the door, they shut the door. It's a beautiful room. The crystal chandeliers, and, tables just perfect, and the food, you can smell the food in the air that was catered in by the chefs of the country club. So you sit down, and there's all these people. I would say maybe 100, maybe less, a little less. It wasn't, it wasn't like 500 people type thing. And I didn't know any of them, not one of them. Never in my entire life had I met any of them. So I'm at this table, round table. These are all round tables. And I don't know, there's probably maybe six or so people around the table. And the energy they were emitting, the frequencies, were, the heaviest I have ever experienced in many lifetimes coming to this planet. It was, how could I put it? It almost felt like you were, let's say you were laying down, right? And an elephant was sitting on you. It wasn't crushing you, okay? But it was really hard to breathe, and you couldn't move, and you just felt stymied, all frozen in place. That's exactly what it felt like. Didn't it? Not at first, but as soon as they started interacting, we started interacting with each other. I kind of blew it off at first, and I thought, well, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm off today or something. And then I went deeper with it and discovered that no, this is pure evil. Communicating. Now you may have been with people that are evil. Pure evil is several times more intense than that. And it's not like they're saying anything negative. It's what they're admitting. It's coming from them. The energy fields is what I'm talking about. Now, when you take that and you put it on this planet where people are totally unsuspecting, and it's the leadership of the planet is pure evil. And so it directs and on purpose misdirects the civilization in certain areas. It has no compassion. And it's an anti-civilization. It's a virus that's infested the planet. Now you can understand. So what happened with this meeting and everything? Well, they were talking about the future of the planet. They were talking about what they were going to do with the people that, and this is what's interesting. The people that were completely ignorant and useless and needed to be eliminated from the planet. This was like 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It was about 30 years ago. They were talking about it then. And so you can picture yourself sitting there listening to this stuff. And, you're just nodding your head. And then I said to one of them, I said, it's interesting. And I said, what? I said, well, you're criticizing the civilization. But you're the ones, and your fathers' fathers, mothers' mothers, for thousands of years, who created that ignorance. So that's your effort at work that now you're saying that these people are, they're ignorant and useless and need to be removed from the planet. Does that make any sense to you? You know, for a better choice, you ignify beings, and then you blame them for being ignorant. It didn't make sense to me. It really didn't. I had to say it. It wasn't disrespectful. They just kind of stared at me. All of a sudden, they stopped eating and everything. They just stared at me. All of them. Total, it's like statues, all of them, just staring at me. Like it was the worst thing anybody could have ever said. So I sat there and I said, "Is everybody all right?" And then they all came out of there. So it seemed like a trance. They all came out of it, and they kept talking about end times destruction and re-engineering and all kinds of stuff. And I said, the difference between all of you and me is? And they said, no, what is it? I said, I'm from a universal civilization, one that creates and progresses and blossoms and flourishes and expands. You're from an anti-civilization belief where everything continually is destroyed to your liking. They didn't know how to take that one. And so I was respectful enough to stay till the dinner was over, and then the wait staff was around, cleaning the tables and everything, and everybody was up mingling and stuff. And I guess the grand poobah, whoever was the leader of that whole group, comes sauntering up. And he says, I don't think we've had the pleasure of meeting. And I said, I guess not. So he introduced himself, and I introduced myself. And he said, what do you think of all this? How do you feel about what you've experienced? And I said, well, I've not been in the company of pure evil before like this. I mean, I was just blunt, beating around the bush. And he says, well, I can appreciate that. He said, what do you think of it? I said, I don't really care for it. I'm embracing the light energies, and I'm here to assist the civilization to flourish and expand and grow and go out into the galaxies. And he said, well, then we must be your deficit. I said, not necessarily. But I said, I will say that what's coming for you and your followers is something you've never experienced before. Now, that wasn't a threat. That was just a statement. He says, well, you have me intrigued. And I said, well, it's something that you might want to chew on for a while. I says, pleasure meeting you, and I appreciate being invited here, and I learned a lot, and it's time for me to go. So it took me a good week to recover from the dankness and low vibrational frequency. I was tired, a little irritable, and finally, slowly but surely came out of it. That was an experience that reinforced what my purpose here with my team is on this planet. Save the civilization, assist it into a really high vibrational frequency existence, and to flourish and expand out into the galaxy and into the universe. And that reinforced it. So that meeting was really good for me because it even motivated me more. Now, I didn't so-called reciprocate and join in on the hate party. The evil and the pure evil it's a whole different ballgame. Let's say that you would honestly believe they were from a different planetary system. That there's no way that humans could be this way. Now they're polite and everything, dressed to the hilt, very elegant and well-mannered and all that stuff. Okay. But beneath the surface, boy, I'll tell you what, that's the darkest of the darkest that you could ever be around. And now you look at this planet, and it's absolutely magnificent because the light is saturating everything. Every microbe, every quantum particle, every super quantum particle and beyond. There's nothing that is being left out. And we're seeing it happen on this planet at this time. And the quiet time of the meditation is to focus as you relax into the body, you get in a comfortable position, you relax into the body. That's the only way you're going to relax anyway. You relax into the body, you're still as a statue, you don't have any outside interference, and you focus on your breath rising and falling. And you focus on when you look at this planet, right? It goes from what it looks like now, which is beautiful, to almost a glowing, sparkling, multicolored light planet. Okay? You know what I mean? When you look at the organics of this planet from out in space, and then it turns into this, it looks like a ball of light. And the colors are something you've never seen before. And what you're focusing on is what this planet will end up being is a God planet paradise. Everyone will know who and what they are. Everyone will have mastered their ego minds, for then the ego mind doesn't exist. And everyone will have mastered their thoughts. Can you imagine that? Now, obviously, this is a transitional process. We move into New Earth, and then we progress further as New Earth goes into a transformational space into a God planet paradise. And people say, well, what about the dark? What about the evil? It is where there's light particles, there are dark, and where there's dark particles, there is light. It is a yin and yang. It is a mix. Okay? But I use this analogy. You have a long trench coat. It goes down to the floor. It goes down, past a little bit past your ankles. And before, the evil was way at the top, up on the lapels and everything, and saturating everything. Now it's just on the hem and it's contained. Can't go anywhere. See what I mean? And so you're running through the rain or something, you get the hem of the trench coat, muddy, dirty. That's where the evil is now, when before it was all over. It was from the waist all the way up everywhere, saturating everything. So to be alive at this time is absolutely magnificent because it's taken all of us multiple reincarnations to have this occur. And we are instrumental in it because we're part of the collective consciousness. And it doesn't mean that we're consciously aware of that, but it is a fact that we're all one, and the collective consciousness created this so that this planetary system, this planet in particular, can go through the transition from dark to light, and where all the financials and everything are the people of the planet, and that you will not see all the debauchery that you have experienced in this life alone. It won't exist. And people say, well, that's going to get boring. Why would it be boring? We'll still be experiencing, and we'll still be learning. But focus on this planet in the quiet time. Focus on it. See it for what it is. Pure, deep, eternal love, light, energy. See it as a God-planet paradise. See it as you see it, and as you have mastered your thoughts and your ego mind. I join you in meditation. I'll return to close sound. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Relaxed into your body. Focused on your breath rising and falling. One thing for us to continually do and practice is love yourself more. Be absolutely wild right now and make the radical commitment to embracing and accepting yourself exactly as you are in this very moment. Include all your personal flaws and any unforgivable mistakes that you've made along the way. Practice softening those hard edges and be gentle. The most wonderful, peaceful feeling floods in the very moment you drop these ancient fabricated judgments. You deserve to be deeply loved. Forgive, feel, and forget that you were anything less than beautiful. It all begins with letting down your guard, breathing, breathing with that sensitive, innocent child who's alive and curious deep inside your heart. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. And we'll return here tonight, time for change call, for November 27th, 2024, a little after 9:15 p.m. Eastern. And Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, we'll return a little after 3:15 p.m. for the Global Guided Meditation Call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on out there or within you. Open your heart and allow the music and the magic to flow in.